Minions! Training video number 2 for you today. People have been calling for a long time for a video talking about recruiting. I have been scared to do a video talking about recruiting because I don't feel like I know any magic tricks for recruiting. So I've been, so I put down some of my ideas and I've been collecting information from other leaders, and I have a list of things that might help with recruiting. As you guys know, recruiting is a big part of the business. If you want to make some money, sell some nail wraps. If you want to make a lot of money, recruit some people to do it with you, which is more fun anyway. My favorite part of this whole thing is getting to hang out with you guys, which I've said a million times and is 100% true. So it's more fun. You end up getting this cool little family tree and you meet all these amazing new people. So it's great. But it can be daunting. I know I think when everyone starts, they're like, okay, I'll sell these crazy nail wraps, but I'm not recruiting. I've heard that so many times, and I know I thought that when I first started, because there's a certain level of it that doesn't feel quite right. But then when you kind of get into it and you realize how much fun it is, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like you need to do this. This is so much fun. Don't think of it as trying to convince someone to take a job. Think of it as like being like, oh my God, I love skiing. You should totally try skiing. Because that's kind of what it is. You're not trying to sucker anyone into anything. You're saying, I really like this. You should come do it too. So instead of saying, hey, I work at Hobby Lobby, you should work at Hobby Lobby with me, or you should work for me at Hobby Lobby, which I think is part of why people think it seems skeevy, because they think the person's working for them, which they're really not. It's more with, like, you guys aren't my employees. I'm just in charge. I don't know. It's weird. I'm just in charge of training you. So, I don't know. Anyway, so just think of yourself as sharing a hobby more than anything else. Be like, I love beading. You should try beading with me. So anyway, I've got a list of things. The first thing I want to make 100% clear, because it is a massive no-no. You may not give any incentives to recruit. You may not say ever, if you join, I will give you a gift certificate. I will buy you a present. I will watch your kids. No incentives for joining. None. Zero. It's a big no-no, and that's one of the rules that, like, they won't be like, hey, that's naughty. They'll fire you. So no incentives for joining. Okay, so here we go. You ready? These are in no discernible order, because my brain doesn't work that well. All right, so my first thing is be honest. You want to be upfront with you. Don't do the used salesman pitch on anybody. That's why people get skeeved out by recruiting. They don't want people doing that to them, and they don't want to have to do that to other people. Don't lie. Don't exaggerate. That's one of the reasons why I like showing my exact pay to people, including you guys, because there's no wiggle room. There's no this is what I make the first month, and then it gets bigger and bigger, and it's not always, it goes up and down, so there's no guessing. So be honest. Tell them about how fast starts work. Tell them it's better to join the beginning of the month. If you need a fast start and you're hoping they'll join at the end of the month, be honest with them. Don't not tell them about fast starts just so you can get your fast start. tell them their options. Tell them, well, you could join now, or you could join at the beginning of the month, and this is the way it works, and it's totally up to you. And then leave it up to them, because if your recruit joins already like angry with you because you didn't tell them the truth, you're not going to have a good relationship with your recruit. So be honest. Have fun. There was a thread in the leader group about people asking for advice on recruiting, and I called my method the Pied Piper method, which is just have fun, and people will just instantly want to follow you. They'll see that you're having fun with your job, and they'll want to do it too. A ton of my recruits have approached me. They have fun in a party, and they want to have fun some more and make some money off of it. So Pied Piper, the Pied Piper didn't have to work very hard to get the kids to follow him. He just played on his little flute and danced, and they went right along with him. I think he also killed them, so don't do that. Talk to every hostess. Okay, so your hostess, your hostess already loves Jamboree because they're putting themselves out there to host. So make sure you talk to every single hostess, even hostesses with dud parties. A lot of the times they'll still be thinking about it. They should be your number one target. Sounds like a bad word, but they're people you already know love Jamboree. So they are a very good group of people to go to about it. Don't prejudge. Don't assume someone won't be interested. I have a little story for you on this. Karen Keener, our lovely TM, was doing a party, and she was doing an amazing job. But I didn't get the vibe that she was interested at all. With the recruit I had before that, I kind of got this vibe that she was interested. So I asked, and she was amazing. But Karen, I didn't get that from her. So I almost didn't ask her. And then I posted on my team page then in Absolutely Jamtastic. And everyone was like, ask her, you gotta ask her. She's doing awesome. So I was like, all right, what am I gonna lose? She's not gonna hate me if I ask. Well, now she's a TM and probably gonna be a senior TM really soon. And she's amazing, and she loves it. And don't prejudge, because there's a good chance you're wrong. You don't know. You don't know me. You don't know them. There's no harm in asking, and that kind of goes along with prejudging. No one's gonna yell at you if you're not pushing about it. No one's gonna hate you for asking. I like to finish things with no pressure. The term no pressure. So I'm like, oh well, I think you'd be really good at this. I just wanted to put it out there, but absolutely no pressure if you're not interested. That seems to put people at ease, and then I can ask without them being super, upset that I'm asking them. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. So if you want those yeses, you gotta ask. Don't try and convince anybody. So you don't want to, if someone's kind of on the fence, you don't want to convince them, because you don't want anyone to ever feel like they were pushed into this. This is, in the end, this is a job. I mean, to some it's more of a hobby, but it is it's a job. So you don't want to ever push someone into it. What you want to do is overcome objections. So if someone's saying, oh, I'd really love to, but my schedule's so busy, then you can talk about how you make your own schedule. And you only do this as much as you want to or need to. You can do 2 parties a month or 20 parties a month, whatever your schedule demands. If someone's saying, well, I'd love to, but I just don't have the startup cash, you could say, you can talk about cake credits and hosting a party to get a cake credit. So don't convince. Don't ever feel like you're pushing anyone into something. If you feel like maybe you're being too pushy, you probably are, and you need to back up a little bit. But overcome objections. Know how to deal with objections. The common ones are time, support. My husband won't support me. That one's a little harder because you don't know hubby and you don't want to cause any marital strife. Money. It's usually time. So anyway, you want to build a relationship. If someone says no, I mean, you always want to build a relationship with your customers. That's what this is. But if you become friends with your customers, you leave that, one, they'll be more likely to want to hang out with you because they like you. And two, you're leaving that line of communication open. So if they ever were thinking about it, they'd feel comfortable coming to talk to you. A good example of this is Miss Julia, who I did not actually recruit, but Alyssa did. But I've done so many parties for the Philadelphia girls in here, Alyssa, Elsie, and Julia, that we actually kind of became, I hope they feel this way too, but we kind of became internet friends. Even kind of outside of Jamboree, I know a lot about their families and stuff. So, so that line of communication, even when we weren't in a party together, we were talking on Facebook about other, stuff. So even though I tried to convince Julia to join 6 months ago, that line of communication was still open, and now she is a consultant. So, though Alyssa's the one that finally bagged her. My white whale. All right. Find out what their why is and go from there. Why would they consider doing this? Do they want to do it for money? Do they want to do it so that they have something to focus on that's not kids or whatever? Do they just love the product? Flexibility. So, and then go from there. So if they really need money, they're strapped for cash, they need money, you can talk about bonuses, you can talk about, the pay scale, also, what you get paid, how our commissions work and things like that. If they want something to focus on other than kids, you can talk about the community that we have, and we have such an amazing community in here. If they want something, if they just love the product, talk about our discount. If they need the flexibility, obviously you talk about the flexibility. That way, you're not, if someone doesn't care about money, I mean, everyone cares about money, but if they're not joining for money, then talking about our pay is not necessarily what's going to really make them want to join. Or if they really need the cash, talking about the community is not necessarily going to convince them of anything. So find out why they would consider joining, and then go from there. Answer questions immediately, and I'm horrible about this because I have so much stuff going on. My brain doesn't work so good. If someone is asking you about Jamboree, reply to them immediately. If they request information about consulting, immediately. People have the attention span of a fruit fly, and if you do not tell them the information they need, they will go seek it somewhere else from someone else, or they'll get distracted and want to join something else. They'll want to do something else. They'll decide not to do Jamboree and take up, crocheting or something. I don't know. So immediately, if someone wants that info, you get it to them. Follow up, and this kind of goes along with building the relationship. If someone says no, not right now, or even just no, follow up with them. Because, and I have a good story for this one too. My dear friend Kara, who is in here, mentioned just really briefly, she was one of my first parties, like one of my very, very first parties. She mentioned very briefly that she would consider consulting. She said, but she was very pregnant at the time. So she was like, well, if I wasn't so pregnant, maybe I'd do it. And then that was it. That's all she said. I was never going to try and convince her because she was pregnant. I was a little afraid she was going to go into labor during the party. So I was never going to try and convince her. But I remembered that she said something. So a while later, I think around Black Friday? No, it was when we were doing our first opportunity event in January. And I was trying to get people to come to the opportunity event. I was like, hey, Kara said she was kind of thinking about it. I'm going to shoot her a note. And guess who's an amazing consultant now? Rocketing her way to the top. So follow up. Just because someone can't do it right now doesn't mean they can't do it. They always can't do it. Turning a party into a launch. I'm running out of time here. Let me flip over that because that could get its own video. Share your story. You don't want to put too much Jamboree stuff on your Facebook wall for reasons, you guys already know that. You don't want to irritate your friends. But share your story in other little ways. You want to know what got Susan Gray to join? I posted on my Facebook wall that my Jamboree income was now paying, my mom won't stop calling, was now paying half of our mortgage. And I was so excited. Well, Susan's like, damn, I could use that kind of money. And that's where that came from. So post on your Facebook wall, but in a sneaky way, where they don't, you're not being even mildly salesy. You're just saying, yay, I bought, I'm taking the kids to Disney World. Thanks, Jamboree. I mean, that would obviously be a super good paycheck, but you know what I mean. I'm paying the cable bill. Thanks, Jamboree. Don't overload with information. If you are talking about generational overrides in a recruiting conversation, you have gone too far. Come on back. Do not overload with information because the person's just going to be like, this is too much for me. It is not about you. Don't say, come join my team. Come say, oh my God, I have this, I'm doing this amazing thing and I really do think you'd like it. You should try it. Because it's not about you. And I think that's one of the biggest things people need to learn is that it's not about you. It has nothing to do with the fact that you need a recruit. It has to do with the fact that you think this person would like this, or they think they'd like it, and you want to help them. It's not about you. And that person, if they're making this kind of a commitment, they don't care about you. They don't care that you need them, to make a promotion that month. They care about what this does for them. So remember that. It's not about you. And that's when it comes to rejection, too. If they say no, it has nothing to do with you. They just can't do it right now. So that's it. I'm running out of time because I think my limit is 20 minutes. So that gives you a lot of stuff. I skipped over the turning a party into a launch, so that may need to be its own video. But it's not about you. Be honest, have fun, and don't try and convince anyone. Don't sell it to people. Just tell people about it. All right? So I hope this helps some people. I'm sorry I'm so long-winded. Mwah!